Chaps, I've got this fella here called Adam. Interesting guy, young chappy. But you got a stoma. Is it a stoma or stoma?
Stoma.
Is
Stoma.
I think
Yeah.
I think some of the old boys or the old people. Is it the colostomy? Colostomy.
Yeah, I've got a colostomy. There's more than one type of stoma, but the one I've got is colostomy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I must admit, there's something about that word. It's just a weird word, and I prefer stoma.
Yeah, I think there's some very negative connotations around the word colostomy, with a lot of people. And it's quite a taboo word, I think. So yeah, a lot of people just use stoma because it's more wide ranging as well.
Yeah, I think it's just a nicer word, isn't it? I think, but,
Yeah.
but you came on my radar because you shared that post on LinkedIn. It was only a couple of days ago, but it wasn't just about the stoma and stuff like that. It was actually about how you still living with pain.
Yeah. So I needed my stoma because of I had years of undiagnosed bowel issues. And I also have and had an eating disorder, which has affected my bowels and my gut motility and my muscles as well. So, and I think, some of the things I say might sound a bit, ew, but actually, I think we need to open up that conversation a bit more about it because it's really important. I ended up with a bowel prolapse, which meant my intestines came away from the suspensory muscles completely. After years of chronic constipation, I had a lot of tests, a lot of scans done in hospital, but they were always looking in the wrong place, so never found it. So I was living for at least 3 or 4 years with this prolapsed bowel. Now, when you see the horrible pictures of weightlifters when they've lifted something too heavy, and you see some horrible pictures, then it's like that.
Out.
Yeah, it's like that.
Wow.
So that was happening for quite a few years, actually. So this was when it started when I was about 16. So, and then when I was 19, I had my first operation to try and fix it.
Yeah.
The operation failed. I then had another one when I was 20, and that left me pretty much incontinent, but in a lot of pain as well. So I was getting frequent blockages of my bowel and things like that. So every single day every day about this time of day, about 5 p.m., I was on the floor in agony, basically, because it was just too painful. So, and I was trying to work full time as well. So eventually I went to surgeon and basically went and asked him, can I have a stoma, please? Because I knew that it would improve my quality of life.
And has it done?
Yeah, it definitely has. I only am in a lot of pain a couple of days a week now, which is a big improvement. Still get quite uncomfortable, and I still have to have quite a lot of medication to help it work and take quite a lot of time to look after it. But overall, I can, do pretty much anything anyone normal will be able to do. I just have to make some adaptations, and if I get some pain or blockages, I have to, take that into consideration.
So at what point? Because the thing I find fascinating about you, especially through that post, the thing I find fascinating is you're just like, yeah, I have a couple of days worth of pain. And you say flippant, but it's like you've clung on to actually how shit life was before to how it is now. Now, I find, especially when it comes down to mental health, it's just some people, not everyone, I'm trying to be tactful in my words here, we've got a lot of humans, I'm like it as well, we've got a habit of once one thing gets resolved, we swap it for something else. And we can focus, especially because on BPD, we can focus that horrible stuff on something else and forget about what the bit we've got past. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So how have you got to that? Because I think you're inspirational, and you're young as well. I think credit to you, mate, because you're focused on what you can do rather than you can't.
Oh, thank you. I don't know, to be honest. I think I've grown up with a family. My mum has always been quite unwell right through my life. So I've grown up with her being unwell and seeing how it affects her, but seeing how she's always fought through. She worked until the moment she basically couldn't work anymore.
Yeah.
And even now she's very unwell, but she still does what she can. She still helps others, and she still gets out and about and stuff as much as she can. And that ethic and that what willingness for life really inspired me.
Yeah.
But I also saying, mental and physical health, we have pain and suffering are relative to the individual. So compared to what I was going through, what I'm going through now is an improvement. Don't get me wrong, I have days where I go, I bloody hate this thing, right?
Mm.
And I absolutely hate it. It does get me down. But then I look back and think, actually, what has it given me rather than what's it taken away? And it's not taking away anything really. I have to wake up 2 hours early to sort out in the morning, and that's annoying.
Yeah.
But and it gets a bit monotonous. But other than that, it's a massive improvement on what it was. And I think because I was used to so much pain for so many years, it was almost a relief in a way.
So do you think actually that's helped you because you've had no choice other than to you've just
Yeah,
said you've had no choice of it? Am I making sense? Or am I just digging a hole
no, 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 no,
there?
no, 100%. I went and asked for my stoma. There's people who have stomas who really, really struggle. There's people who have, for example, bowel cancer or
Yeah,
have ruptures of the bowel which happen spontaneously, which, they have it under emergency surgery. They don't have a choice. They just wake up with the stoma.
yeah.
And that must be so, so hard to deal with
That'd
because
be a
they don't know
nightmare.
it's coming. They don't have the psychological like lead into it, if you like. Whereas I actually went and asked for it. I went and
Yeah,
asked the surgeon, said, "Can I have a stoma?" So I was in a way already ready for it. I was prepared for it,
yeah,
which sort of I think softened the blow a bit because I woke up after the operation and immediately was like, "This is part of me now."
yeah.
Um, you know, I was looking at it, changing the bag, doing everything I needed to within, hours of the operation. So,
So he's ready for it.
yeah, I was ready for it. Whereas I think there's a lot of people with stomas who aren't ready for it because it's emergency or
Yeah,
because or for other reasons. And I got very lucky. My stoma works quite well. There's some people who have a lot of problems with theirs. They get hernias behind them, they leak sometimes. People struggle with a lot of different things, frequent blockages. Mine happen, but less regularly.
yeah,
So I am lucky in a way that I've got a one that behaves well, if you like.
yeah.
But I think, mentally, yes, it's difficult, very difficult sometimes. But I also think that with the right support and the right sort of network of support around you, it can be something we can all work with as well, I guess.
Yeah. So how did you build that network of support? Because I'll be honest, if I had one, I don't think I'd tell anyone.
Yeah. So main thing with me is my family. We've always been very, very open and honest with each other.
Yeah.
Completely, nothing's off limits. So
Good
that
on you.
really helped. And then I just thought, you know what? If me talking about what I've got can help someone else and
Yeah.
can raise awareness and make someone else feel better through what they're going through, then
Yeah.
that's worth it for me. So I talk about it not for my sake, although it is sometimes quite nice to let it out.
Yeah.
I talk about it more because I know that there's going to be someone else in a similar position to me who won't know about stomas, or someone's family who doesn't really know how to go about talking to someone with a stoma. And I think raising awareness of the ups and downs of having a stoma is really important because then people can understand that it's not this horrible, smelly thing that ruins people's lives. It's actually something that can improve people's quality of lives as well.
And I have to give you credit, mate, too. 'Cause I must. I have seen the odd posts over the years, and I don't want to piss off the stoner community. If there was, I don't mean that thing, but it's very much of just accept me, and that's it. And it's just like there's no more context for it, and I just don't understand them. I don't know anything. I knew it's to. I'll be honest with you, mate. You surprised me because you're young. I just thought it was an old man thing who's just this is going to make sense. And
Yeah,
it was most of these posts. Funny enough, a lot of them are more. It's more women who are like just to accept me, but there's no more context to it, and I don't understand. So I just skim past it, and that's as far as I know about it. But with your post, it was just you educated. How many people commented on that post? There's quite a few now, isn't it?
yeah, I got about 60 odd, and there's 25,000 views and a couple of hundred, about nearly 300 reactions now. So I was really, really touched by by the comments, to be honest, and the
Uh,
people talking about theirs as well.
yeah, no, I must admit, I did have a bit of alert through those. So well done to you, mate. So how many times did it take you to build up the confidence to post that?
I just had a sod it moment, to be honest with you, and just posted it. I've I've done bits of awareness on other social media channels in the past, but I thought LinkedIn's a bit far. But actually, I thought, you know what? There's going to be quite a lot of people who work with someone with a stoma.
Yeah.
It's noisy in meetings. You can't get around it. It's people find it taboo. So I thought, actually, you know what? Let's just do it. And
Yeah.
it's like I said, it's for me, it helps me, but it's more to help others as well. But I also think, we all know that giving back to other people helps our own mental health and
Yeah.
well-being as well. So, and opening that conversation up as well.
Yeah. So if I can give you a scenario, because I'm the kind of person, I was going to try and be tactful, but I think you already worked out the kind of person I am. It's the thing. If I'm sat there in a meeting, and please don't be upset in this.
No,
If I
no,
was
no,
sat there
don't,
in a
don't.
meeting and I didn't know, because I wouldn't know, why should you have to go, I've got a stone and walk into meeting?
Yeah.
If I heard a rustle or water, do you hear water or anything like that?
No, it's just it farts a lot.
Oh, right, I
It's
wasn't.
it's more the noises of like the farting noises. You can't stop it and you can't control it.
Because that's the thing. I'm that kind of person where I'll be trying to analyze who it is, and I wouldn't mean to upset anybody. I genuinely would. If you had sat there and I'm like, I think it's you, and you were doing that weird, and you went, I've got a stoma, I would feel awful.
Mm.
But how do you not let people like me staring at you affect
Um,
your mental health? Because
because
for me, that I would get in a rage.
yeah, we, I see the funny side of it. I sort of laugh about it and go, I can't help it. I can't do anything about it. It does it when
Yeah.
it wants to do it. Um, if if people have got a problem with it, it's not my fault. But if someone looks at me and smiles, I'll smile back. I've done that
Okay.
we've done that loads of times in meetings. We've just had a little giggle because it doesn't smell either, so you can't smell it. So it's just a
Well,
noise.
okay. Yeah.
So um, it's we just used to have a look and just have a little giggle with each other, and people
Yeah.
don't know. It's quite funny in a way.
Yeah.
Um, but and again, maybe it's the taboo we have around natural bodily functions that's causing that rather than anything else. Because you know what, fighting's normal.
Yeah.
We all do. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
I just can't dictate when I do it. It just
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
And that's the only difference really. The only good thing, like I said, it doesn't smell at all. So
Yeah.
you get away with it every time.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Well, it's interesting. I mean, we've said this in other videos because we've spoken about Tourette's and a load of other stuff, and I've asked that same kind of question in different ways. But it's remembering that attitude that actually if somebody's that much of a dickhead, they're going to be a dickhead and take the piss out of you or anything like that. That's actually their problem, not your problem.
Exactly.
Just surround yourself with the network who are going to support you, and that's not just with Stoma, that's just life, isn't it?
But you can guarantee for every one dickhead, you got 100 decent people who back you up behind you.
Without question, without question. So those days when you're in pain and all this kind of how because you seem like the guy who just fight through stuff.
Yeah, it's
How do you get to that where you're like, no, I'm not going to stay in my house? How do you get to that?
Yeah, some days when I'm in a lot of pain, I literally can't go anywhere because the pain
Yeah.
can get so bad where I basically pass out. So that's
Yeah.
sort of, but I know it's coming. I get about an hour's notice, so I can get back home and I'm out. It's not nice, but it's something that happens. But otherwise, it's sort of just, what would I do if I didn't go out? It is, I've always, there's everyone's, illnesses, physical or mental, affects them in different ways. Some people with depression can't go out. I've got clinical depression with my eating disorder and anxiety and a lot of other stuff as well. But I'm very high functioning, so I always want to do stuff. So I will, even if I'm feeling like utter trash, I will make myself go out and do stuff
Yeah.
because I can't, for me, mentally, staying at home doing nothing is worse than trying to at least do something with my day.
Yeah, you just end up. Yeah, in my case, sorry, in my
Yeah,
case, I am my own brain sucks into itself.
yeah, same here. And I get very restless and anxious. Now, sometimes, complete rest is the right thing, and that's something that I need to learn myself. Is that sometimes it's okay to just stay in and say, I'm having a really, really bad day today. Let's just have a day in front of the telly, just resting. But that's something that I'm learning. But I'm not going to lie, it really, really does get you down sometimes, because you are, pain is probably, mentally, being in physical pain affects you mentally as well a lot, and it
Yeah.
really does bring you down, and that can be really difficult. But I look, I just try. I don't know what it is. I've just got this inner sort of. I've just got to get stuff done,
Yeah.
and that's just as far as it goes. Really, it's a really strange feeling, but unless I literally cannot move, I will be trying to do stuff.
No, good on you. Absolutely well done to you. And that's yeah. I think we've bloody hell, we're flying through that already.
I know, time flies,
And
doesn't it?
yeah, I think you've already answered it. Really, it was just like I was going to ask. We do this on every video. Of just like if somebody's watching this and they can relate to it and all this kind of stuff. But I think you've already answered it. But let's ask it anyway, because even though you've answered it in a weird way, if somebody is watching this and I don't know, say for example, I can't imagine there's many with stoma. I don't know. If somebody can relate to this, doesn't matter what the gender is, doesn't matter. Don't care about that. If someone can relate to this, and they can't leave their house, they're feeling like shit. Do you know what? If they've got dodgy guts and it's really messing with their head, anything doesn't matter. What do you say to them?
I'd say, firstly, however your feeling's valid, and if you feel you can't leave the house, and some people literally can't, then that's
Yeah,
okay as well. But for those who want to try, give it your best shot. Surround yourself with people who support you and value you, and also know that incontinence, bowel issues, stomas are a lot more common than you think. There's probably quite a lot of people who can probably relate to you out there, and you're not alone in this journey that you're on. We do have a big taboo around bowel issues, incontinence, poo. Let's say the word, okay? Um, and that's something that as a society we need to work on, breaking that taboo, because it's normal and natural. But the main message I would say is just be yourself, be your absolute self, and don't try and change yourself because you think that's what society wants you to be.
yeah. To be honest, before we call it a day, that's one thing I do admire about you, mate. You are Adam, who's just happened to have a stoma. You haven't made that your identity. You haven't made your ADHD your identity or anything else your identity. You're just Adam, and I absolutely give you credit on that because you're quite a rarity. So well done to you, mate.
Thank you.
I'm going to do the whole unrecord. You know what I mean? Bear me
Yeah.
one second.